I'm Keely Eure here with Jordan Moore with a rapid reaction following USC's first round win. Jordan, I think we were all curious how USC would respond after a very physical Pac-12 tournament championship victory. How do you think they played today?
Yeah, I thought they played well. I mean, I think it's a difficult thing because, they have to respond after that Pac-12 tournament, the emotions, the physicality. Juju's ankle was obviously a big story. But they had 13 days off. I mean, that is a long break for a team. You build yourself into peak physical form this time of year, and then it's like basically 2 weeks off. So I think that was a challenge for the coaches. I think it was a challenge for the players. But a 21-0 run the first quarter certainly helps get your legs under you. And they sort of took the drama out of this early, which is what you want when you're the 1 seed going up against the 16.
Yeah, 7 blocks in the first quarter, but Mackenzie Forbes said that they wanted to improve what they did defensively. What did you see on that side of the court?
Yeah, I thought the defense was really good in the first quarter, and I think it could have been better kind of as the game wore on. I think that they made some mistakes that were maybe a little bit uncharacteristic, or just as a game when you're playing with a 20, 25-point lead throughout, maybe you get a little bit more lax than you would when you're locked into the game playing against UCLA or Stanford in the Pac-12 tournament. I think that's what makes this unique is you've been playing such high-level games, and I thought that the Islanders played very well, but it's obviously a different caliber of opponent today, and I think the Trojans will want to be sharper on Monday against Kansas.
This is Juju Watkins' first NCAA tournament game. We were all wondering what she would look like. How did she look out there?
Looked very comfortable. I think the stat that you two stats that you look at for Juju are offensive efficiency, and she was close to 50% shooting, and turnovers, and she kept that down to 2, and I think she was 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. So, I think for Juju, being composed, being poised in your first NCAA tournament game, again, we always have to say this, you have to remember she's a freshman, right? So all these things are new to her. It certainly didn't look new. She seemed comfortable out there. I thought she did a nice job and, just kind of made the right play. You're seeing this game in and game out, all eyes on her. There were a lot of times where they were in a little bit of a zone defense, and you could just see all defensive eyes on her. And so she's got to make the right plays in those situations, and I thought today she did.
It was a newsworthy day for her as well. Her second bucket of the game made her surpass Cheryl Miller for the single-season USC scoring record. In typical Juju fashion, she was told that in the post-game press conference and said, "Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy." So a nonchalant, another record broken for Juju.
Yeah, she seems to break a record every single game, so maybe that's why she's just sort of like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, I get it. Done it before." But really cool that Cheryl could be here.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to what's going on with this program. And I said this to, I was, talked to Wendell Farrell, the assistant after the game on the post-game show, and I said, it's very easy to take for granted a 1 seed beating a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. But don't take for granted that this was this program's first NCAA tournament win since 2006. Mm-hmm. This program is relevant for the first time in 30 years, and it's thinking about a championship for the first time in 40 years, and that's dating back to Cheryl Miller, sitting there 3 rows behind the bench. So, Juju's obviously already put herself in the pantheon of the greatest players in the history of this program in 1 season. And she will just continue to break records and to amaze us, I think.
Obviously, USC got to a large lead by the fourth quarter. India Otto was able to check in. She's a walk-on who I believe only played 7 minutes up until this point. Drained a 3. The bench goes crazy. Galen Sinner crazy as well. What a moment for USC in that part of the game.
Well, I was impressed, first off, that you could tell that these were knowledgeable fans. The moment she hopped off the bench, everyone went, crazy. So I thought that was cool in the first place, is that clearly these people that were here today had been on the ride. I'm sure there's some people jumping on the bandwagon now, but there are a lot of people that knew what was up. And what was cool about it too, I did not realize until prepping for this game, she had never made a 2-point shot before. So her first bucket was a 2. She had made 6 threes in her college career, and then she follows that up by draining the 3. And so, my line was they showed up today to see Juju. They left talking about India. So that was she definitely stole the end of the game. What a flourish, and just what a cool moment. I mean, this is what college basketball is all about. A senior leader on the team, but a walk-on. Somebody that is not a major contributor on the court, but is a major part of this program and gets this incredible moment.
Yeah, obviously she's close with Juju, and Juju said in the post-game press conference, she was like, it was better than the win, and then caught herself and said, okay, maybe not that much, India, sorry about that. So obviously a good morale boost for the team if they didn't already need one. But going forward, you mentioned first time since 2006 that USC's advanced to the round of 32. They are going to play Kansas on Monday. Monday. What's your scouting report on them?
Yeah, I got to watch them before the game. Honestly thought they were the second best team out there. Thought Michigan controlled that game. Thought Michigan was going to win, and Kansas closed it. Kansas made some really big plays late. They had a talented guard who made I don't think she's a big-time shooter, but she made a three late, got a great roll on it to force overtime. She had 22. They got a big post, though, and that, to me, is what will determine in a lot of ways USC's fate in this tournament. So it's good to see it right away. They have a 6'6" player inside, and this is where I think USC's gotten so much better as the season has gone on. In that first game at UCLA, which was USC's first loss of the year, Lauren Betts, they're big, I thought just dominated, and USC looked small and not physical enough. Ever since then, USC's handled Cameron Brink twice of Stanford, the All-American inside. They've handled Betts twice of UCLA since then. They have dealt with size so much better as the season has gone on. So it'll be a bigger game for Clarice. She didn't necessarily need a big role today against an undersized team. But Rhea and Clarice will battle inside. Caitlin Davis will need to have a little bit bigger of a role. She was kind of quiet today. But that'll be what the test is for USC. And no doubt, the opponent level is going up on Monday. They'll need to handle that and be ready for it, and it's only going to go up from here. But they're used to it. They just went through the gauntlet of the best conference in the country in terms of women's basketball, and they emerged champions from that, and they have what it takes to certainly get through Monday.
Thought it was a good crowd here at Galen, but a Monday night game, not always a great show for a weekday. What do you expect from the Trojan family in that sense?
Well, get out here. I mean, you just don't get these opportunities that much in sports, in life, to get these really cool opportunities in your own backyard. So whatever it takes, you have my permission to take the afternoon off if that's what it is, or if it's an early evening game and beat the traffic down here. We're still waiting to figure out what time the game's going to be, but my guess is it's something early in the evening. So get out here and make some noise for this team. They've certainly earned it.
Alrighty, you heard the man. We'll see you at Galen on Monday.